I now speak with Misha, Infinite Flight's community manager, and talk about how the mobile platform grows in its own right, as well as how far they'll go in the future. I also put X-Plane GloMo to them to see how they feel about their upcoming competition.
Right, cool. So, Misha, nice to have you here.
Thank you very much for having me.
So, first question I guess with Infinite is, firstly, what is Infinite Flight? How does it fit in the flight sim scene? Like, where does it sit in flight simulation?
It's a purely mobile-based flight simulator. We're not on PC. It's for iPhone and Android, so it covers everything. It used to be a Windows Phone originally, but obviously no one really uses that anymore. And it sits in the it's a fully fledged flight sim, so 4K textures and everything. We didn't cut any corners. But the real difference is on a mobile device.
Yes.
There's no real difference. And actually that has its benefits as well.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
So, with your current state, like, what aircraft do you currently have in a sim? What have you got currently in development, which we could see in the recent near future?
So we have over 50 aircraft, anything 172 to the MD-11, C-130, obviously all of the Airbus and Boeing family.
Yes.
The current ones are in development. The 172, that's been completely redone. We're redoing all of our 777 family, and the big one, obviously the A350.
Yes.
And we're getting a lot of excitement around that, so that's really exciting. And that's going to be obviously animated, 4K, the whole shebang. It's going to be great.
Sounds good. And so when it comes to like new aircraft being made for the Infinite Flight scene, so like how is the choice made, and also how often do you see some of the lesser used aircraft, for example like the KC-390 for example, or even say the Airbus A220 C series. So how are aircraft chosen, and how long does it usually take to implement into the sim?
That's a really good question actually. So obviously when you have a huge diverse user base, you have a lot of various wants, and we have to kind of balance them. And so a lot of the time it's pretty obvious what the community wants on social media, on our forum. But recently we actually did with the 777, we just did a poll because we had so many aircraft that we were like, oh, we really want to do this one internally, and we all have our opinions. So I'm an A220 fan, I want the A220. So I think Laura likes that as well. But we poll people, and obviously we then have to balance that with development time.
Yes.
So for example, the Concorde, a lot of people want the Concorde, but it's very resource intensive. So that's why we don't currently have the Concorde. But we just balance it up, we ask people, and it's, like I said, it's pretty clear when all of your comments on Instagram are A350, A350, A350.
It's the only choice you've already got.
Exactly. You can't really go like, now we're not going to do the A350. So yeah.
So really, it's like a very community-driven kind of platform.
Absolutely. Yeah. So our fundamental core is the community. That's what we've been built upon. I'm the community manager, so I have a hard job. It's a great job though. So we have a huge following on social media, as I'm sure you're aware.
Yes.
And in our forum. And that really drives what we do. So that's why we have multiplayer, that's why we have ATC, and that's what we just listen to the community, because they, like I said, it's very obvious what the community wants. So, but we do throw in a little curveball every now and then. So we started redoing the 172 before the community knew about it. Because like I said, every now and then we got to do something that balances it.
Yes.
So, yeah.
So I mean, like, as I say, you're very community-driven. Like, a lot of people can sometimes almost like bash Infinite Flight as it's a mobile flight simulator. It's not quite as good as like. But at the end of the day, it's all about community. So how many active users do you really have in the Infinite Flight scene? And on the online multiplayer servers, how many active users would you see at any given time?
So the actual number of downloads, I can't tell you.
Right.
But what the concurrent number of users, so on servers, anywhere between 1,000 to 2,000 at a time, and that's concurrent, obviously. So you imagine that throughout the course of the day. That's tens of thousands. Imagine over the course of a year. So
you're pretty much like on par, like with the actual networks, like VATSIM, that kind of stuff, and the PC systems. You're pretty much on par with those levels. Like you guys have a defined simulator out there that people are enjoying and using over and over again.
Dare I say we have more concurrent users than most online, obviously that is. We don't know the numbers of anyone else, they don't know our numbers obviously. But we're like, there's no difference. We are a fully fledged flight sim with a very large community, so it's great.
Sounds good. And so, because like you guys, you're your own separate platform, you've got your own separate like dev kit and all that, so how difficult is it to like develop in the Infinite Flight scene? So does it take, I presume so, it's years of build up the simulator.
Of course.
But the dev team, like how much work they put into it, how difficult is building it, and before we like release the next update, how much like goes wrong before you get it going right, before it goes to
I
the,
love that question. That's a good.
user?
So I'm in charge of the beta testing as well.
Oh yes.
So in terms of having it on mobile, the main constriction isn't in development. You develop it. I'm not a developer, but pretty much the same way.
Yes.
It's all done on PC, obviously, and then they just bring it over to mobile. The main challenge historically has been device constrictions. So if somebody, say, imagine was flying in an iPhone 5, that's pretty underpowered, and we still have to support those devices. So we have to find a balance between a really high-end, good-performing simulator, say an iPad Pro 12.9, and an iPhone 5. So you have various settings, obviously, but that's the main constraint. As devices get better, we're getting better, obviously, and so we're bringing more and more stuff. So things like clouds and buildings and everything, they're going to come very soon. So that would be cool. What goes wrong? I like that question because any beta testing, a lot goes wrong. So my favourite thing recently was I think something wrong with the shader, and so the entire thing went pink. That was good fun. So before any update, it's months of beta testing.
I can imagine,
months and months of beta testing, and alpha before that as well. So
I guess the final question for you guys is, because at the moment, in terms of like mobile flight sim, you guys are pretty much the monopoly on that.
Yes.
But as X-Plane have now announced their X-Plane Mobile Global,
GloMo.
How do you guys see it? And do you see it as a threat or more of like a healthy competition to kind of boost you both up to the top level?
So I never really think that there's bad competition, really. I think it only pushes you to get better, and it's the same with us. And the guys over at X-Plane, they're awesome. We love what they're doing. But I don't see it. I see it as a good thing. I see it as a good thing for mobile flight sims because, as you can see, you can do a lot with it, and it's only going to push mobile flight sims to get better and better and better. And that kind of ties into the same thing with Microsoft Flight Sim. I think that's going to do wonders for the flight sim community overall. There will be obviously its downsides, but I think it's going to bring more people into flight sim, and that was kind of our core fundamental thing, was getting people into flight sim, into aviation. And yeah, that's exactly what we're doing, and I think X-Plane GloMo, that's only going to do the same thing. So,
sounds good. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much. But hey, cut.